Welcome to Hardballs. This is Chris Matthews, and you're listening to Call Now. Did I lose my show?
Call now.
Call now.
Call now. Call now. Call or log on now.
Call now.
Call right now. Call in the next 18 minutes.
Call in the next 16 minutes.
Call in the next 7 minutes.
Call or log on now.
Hello and welcome to Call Now, where we plunge headfirst into the surreal world of infomercial. And while we can't offer you free shipping, we can guarantee that the views and opinions expressed on this podcast are definitely those of this network. Thank you, Tim. My name is Dan Sturdivant. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host on this three-man weave known as Call Now, Mark Pedretti. Mark, how we doing, pal?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And the man who steered us down this very muscular path, Dave Sandrini. Thank you, and how are you, my friend?
Hello, I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're all doing well, but we all know we could be doing a little better if we just spend 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. We're not going to spend that amount of time working out. We might spend that amount of time for the rest of our lives talking about the Bowflex, and I can't wait.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength, becomes power. Bowflex. Resistance becoming strength, becoming power.
The Bowflex. This is a real unique piece of equipment because of the patented power rods, which are one of my favorite components of this masterpiece. We learn about the bow. We know that they're not rubber.
These are composite power rods. They're patented.
We think we know a lot of things, but Dave, you wanted to steer us down this path, so I feel like it's your duty and your responsibility to get us off on the right foot and lead us through our first circuit on the Bowflex.
First thing I like to do in my workout.
So this particular Bowflex commercial comes out in 2001, which is kind of initial high school for us, for me. And it was omnipresent and very interesting because as like a high school athlete, in quotation marks, you kind of took notice of anything that was workout related, and how could you not be interested in the Bowflex as it claimed to be doing what it did.
The secret to getting a body like this in just 20 to 30 minutes, 3 times a week.
Ridiculous design. I think it was made fun of a lot. I didn't really remember the infomercial so well until we all just watched it, but now my mind is refreshed and I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of unique qualities to the Bowflex because there's a lot of fitness infomercials that I remembered really well growing up. I remembered the Gazelle because it's like most of them had some real good obscure qualities.
Hey, yes. You know the Gazelle can help your love life.
This one is a little bit more unsettling because of just how staring down the barrel this whole thing feels like. They're looking at you in your living room and they're disappointed in you.
You've got nothing to lose. Nothing but a body you're not happy with.
And it's effective. I'm someone who's definitely a sucker for all of these things, like anything like P90X.
Call out your soups. What do you got?
Or Body Beast.
It's going to be amazing.
I'm proud to say I've never ordered any of them, but I always want to. And I can always, within the first 2 minutes, start to talk myself into like, I could do that. Yeah, it's like, well, how much is it?
Let me see that.
I could do that. Well, yeah. If I had the bench, I had all the weights, and I do the meal plan, and I could do Body Beast. Like, look at that guy's neck.
I want to look like that guy.
That's cool. I'm like, yeah, if I had a Bowflex, like, I would totally use that.
It really is so easy to use. You're going to use it every single day.
There's no chance I would ever use any of this stuff. I'm glad that for some reason it's the one line that I haven't crossed in my stupidity.
Are you stupid or something?
But the way that they really drive it throughout is incredible. It strikes every nerve. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think the question we all have to wrap our heads around before we start getting into dangerous territory is why?
Religion, greed, money, sex. But why? Why?
Dave, you know production. Did you notice anything in particular about this one that just kind of blew your mind? I mean, it's awfully sexy, man.
Well, I gotta say that after the magic bullet it was kind of a tall order to beat that production.
That's some bullet.
I'm gonna say nothing great here.
I look okay.
Nothing stellar. The best bits for me are the hot bod B-roll shots, which are very well lit and have fun music, which is kind of filler to a point. The infomercial sings when they get the meatheads together and they start screwing around.
Randy and I put our patented power rod resistance to the challenge against some serious weightlifters.
And that only accumulated to like 6 minutes, which I was very disappointed in.
No, not 6.
Clearly that is partly rehearsed, but the beauty comes out when those wackos start to get into the rhythm and clearly are ad-libbing a little bit, which is fantastic. Eli fails.
What's wrong, Eli?
We'll talk about that later. That's great. And Randy just constantly ejaculating, so to speak, is great.
30-pound rod.
Yeah, but Dave, as a whole, I know you just got into it, so and I was saying it was sexy, and that's great. This is the least sexy looking thing I've ever seen. It looks like an octopus, arms going everywhere, and
It's like the Predator's hair.
yeah, I guess it is. But is that maybe the direction they went into to be like, hey, this thing looks like garbage? It works good. It can do everything.
64 different exercises.
It's the only way you can do everything, but
I don't know how I could do this at home with any other machine.
you think we got to kind of pump up the sexuality in this thing with the hot bods, the hot music.
As opposed to the design of the Bowflex.
Oh, yeah. It's compensating.
I think every health and fitness infomercial is rife with hot bods. 95%. There's also the ones that appeal to the middle, the folks that just want to appease their doctor and say that they did their 15 minutes a
Slim
day.
Cycle transforms from the upright to recumbent position, so it's as comfortable as sitting on
The
your couch.
P90X crowd, there's other ones. It's like, you can look like a bodybuilder in 6 minutes a year. It's like,
No, not 6. I said 7.
yes, that is what I want. And they're pounding that nail into the ground every second that they can here. It's amazing.
There's a lot of confusion as to what this thing's going to actually do for you.
What is a Bowflex? What does Bowflex do?
Half of the time, they're saying it's going to assist your strength building. It's going to assist your strength training and your lifting and stuff like that.
Anybody interested in abs at all?
And the other half, they're saying you're going to lose weight and it's going to change your life.
I've been heavy all my life.
It gets a little muddled.
To me, it looks like some sex dungeon toy. That's what it looks like. It's like good for all positions.
64.
And it's the ultimate intimate machine.
The personal versatile.
So
no, it's the ultimate party machine.
The ultimate party machine.
The ultimate pleasure pain machine.
With these hot dudes.
Outstanding.
That's some bullet.
So the production I thought was a little bit boring.
Are you not entertained?
But for talent, it's all about Randy and Tom, Mr. Tom Purvis.
I'm Tom Purvis.
In my opinion, this is a ridiculous product with its heart in the right place. It's probably a good product for bodybuilders. That being said, big missed opportunity that they don't go full meathead.
GTL, baby. Gym Tan
Have an infomercial that is exclusively a bunch of hunks and babes trying out the workouts while Randy just gets off constantly.
Hold on to your power rod.
It's lots of testimonials, funny sometimes, but not great. It's
not like I look bad.
I think the too many info bits make it a little more boring.
That's the idea behind circuit training.
Yeah,
Just stick to the guys pumping iron.
testimonials. When you talk about target audience and running the gamut, we have car crash survivors.
I was in a really bad car wreck.
We have formerly injured lifters.
Because I did not want to hurt myself, which I had done using free weights before.
We have the unrecognizably overweight to lost weight conversions.
Remember Barry Ozen?
And the group of people who just don't have time to work out unless it's 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week in the comfort of their own home.
So it gives me the freedom to do what I want, how I want, and when I want.
So it's your point spot on where they don't really know who they actually want. We just hope that somebody buys this. But I mean, listen, almost 2 million Bowflexes sold since 1996. This is something, right?
I've never seen one.
That's the thing, right?
I've seen more
I
DeLoreans
don't
than
think
I've
I
seen
have either.
Bowflexes.
Well, it's a DeLorean.
That's a weird reality I live in.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I'm same. I mean, I didn't know it until you just said it.
Yeah. You know what's kind of weird about Randy Potter? You love Randy, and then you'll throw a little shade at the testimonials.
It's not too bad.
But that guy, he's the VP of marketing. He probably produced this thing. So, and Randy, I trust. I like those testimonials.
Do you think that he was working his way up the marketing ranks? Like he started as an intern, and then he was a manager, and then a director and a senior director, and then got promoted to VP, and he just happened to have this incredible physique?
I want to look like that guy.
Or do you think that he was lifting boxes downstairs in between doing reps, and they're like, hey, man, do you want an office upstairs? Pop that shirt off. You're the VP of marketing now. And he's like, done.
That's all I do.
Yeah. Because I'm trending towards the ladder in terms of the interview and promotion process for VP of marketing, Randy Potter.
That is awesome.
Yeah. He definitely, no, he got stronger as higher up in the company he got. He had like benchmarks to hit, and it was probably started at like 150 on the bench press.
First thing I like to do in my workout is a bench press.
You know, went up from there. So yeah, no, he definitely worked hard at his body and his
you want to look like
marketing
Randy?
skills to be in this commercial.
I bet he worked out in Tom Purvis's gym. Tom Purvis said, like, what do you do? And he's like, well, I do a little marketing on the side. And he's like, hey, you know, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendip here.
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful
And I think that's what happened.
Do you think Tom was like, I want to look like you? And he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, it'll sound different if it's not about me. But
And he was like, wait,
you'll get
so
it.
you want to kiss me?
We're gonna have a
And
good
he was like,
time.
no, I didn't say that either. And then they go, are you sure?
Maybe we should kiss just to break the tension.
Let's talk about my guy, Tom Purvis. So he's the trainer to the trainers.
Tom Purvis,
which
trainer to the trainer.
I don't know how you earned that or where you trademarked that, but he has an incredible resume, including where he's been a keynote speaker, where he's been a consultant, including at NASA. Maybe you've heard of it.
What?
Yeah. The Air Force, pretty good. He, of course, hosted the Bowflex. He hosted the Ab Trainer infomercial. He hosted Naturally Fit, which apparently was some syndicated fitness magazine show. He had a segment on a show called Gotta Sweat that was on ESPN2 with Corey Everson. And I don't know what that show is or who that person is, but he did that. So you're welcome.
Believe me, it's well worth it.
Must be like a strength conditioning show that was horribly boring.
So he was also named one of the top 55 personal trainers in the country, as well as the personal training guru who changed resistance training by Vogue magazine. No year attributed. He was the 1985 NPC Oklahoma bodybuilding champion.
Hold on to your power rods.
So this guy was a bodybuilder. I think you might have been missing that.
Let's see it.
Is he used to have that physique, but then he stopped working out and started just, really training the trainers. He built 2 houses and completely remodeled 2 others. He designed and built equipment for the original Gold's Gym in Oklahoma City. And he owns and operates a 3-building office park. I like that. Favorite thing that he lists on his obviously self-published highlights on his website is under the section video has the following line. With almost 2 million Bowflexes sold since 1996, that includes his instructional DVDs, Tom has DVDs in more homes than P90X.
Call out your soups. What do you got? Corn chowder.
So there might be a Tony Horton war. There's some stank on that. That's the only specific other non-endorsed technology that he takes a swipe at. So I love that he feels threatened by Beachbody and Tony Horton enough to be like, no one sells DVDs like this guy. You call me Blockbuster, babe, because I'm in your house.
The call. It's coming from inside the house.
He's intense.
Yeah.
I think that he, for this particular infomercial, really needed to ditch the pro attire and the stupid slacks and get the tank top on. Like, we were here for skin. And like, this guy is clearly like rocked.
Welcome to the rock.
Let's get more of that. And then I also just thought that he looked like a backup D1 defensive end with a 3.5 GPA. Like, that's all I got.
Do you think maybe as the VP of marketing that Randy was like, hey, Tom, why don't you go ahead and put on that button down that my dad left and those oversized khakis? Let's make sure the star is showing bright in these cuts, okay? Why don't you just scoot over there and ask me some questions about how good I look? Thanks.
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
I work for Bowflex. You're a presenter. Any chance that Randy had Final Cut?
But that's a great question. Mark, take it.
No, he didn't have Final Cut. And I think you can figure that out by he makes him do everything in that first segment and throughout. And all he does is just points and he directs him to do things. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do? There's no way Randy had Final Cut on this thing. This is a Tom production, and Randy was abused and used as a marketing director.
It feels like a classic lead from behind from my standpoint, where Randy's like, okay, I'm gonna bend. He's like, all right, here's my circuit.
First thing I like to do in my workout is a bench press.
You call the shots. He's like, I'm getting my pump on. You guys can cut it down to whatever you want. I'm here to work out. I'm not here to do your BS. Because Randy also doesn't swear. He says BS.
I think, I think the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but I think that Tom Purvis fancies himself a
trainer to the trainers?
Trainer to the trainer.
Yeah, but an entrepreneur. And I think he is very comfortable, as you, in your research, have kind of illuminated that he's very comfortable in his business shoes. You know what I mean?
He owns an office park. It's a 3-building office park.
And I really like that.
Purvis Place?
PurvisOnly.com.
Tom Purvis says he's pointing at, I think he's pointing at Randy, and he says, look how effective it is. His chest is going crazy right there.
Holy smoke. Look at that muscle working. You can tell how effective this machine is right here.
All he has to do to sell this thing. It's like, yeah, let's buy this machine that your chest just goes crazy right there.
You see that working?
Yeah, there's some safety concerns with this machine, and one of them is that it might cause actual insanity in your muscles. There's a lot of crazy muscles. Look at that working.
Look at that muscle working.
His back's going crazy. The chest's going crazy.
His chest is going crazy.
And I just don't know how. I don't know another machine you could do
I
that.
don't know how I could do this at home with any other machine.
But do you know what it doesn't do is cause momentum? Because I kept hearing a lot about momentum. And this is a direct quote. Momentum is what makes free weights dangerous sometimes. Tom Purvis.
Momentum is what makes free weights dangerous sometimes.
Such an on-the-fence statement.
Like, he kept bringing up momentum as if like momentum was so damaging to weightlifting. It was so weird.
Because momentum is one of the things that actually causes injury when you're using free weights.
Real quick, everybody, Team Tom Purvis or Team Randy? Who do you take home to mama?
Randy.
I'm a tomboy.
Swing it, Dave. Swing it.
Dun, dun.
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
I like Tom. Okay? I like what he's done.
That is awesome.
But
I like that.
you want a guy who's just going to do a few more of these real
I'm
quick.
going to do a couple more real quick.
We got to go with Randy here, you know? And Tom didn't ditch the shirt.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's tough to hear because there's a whole section on Tom's website called embarrassing stuff. And it's just his bodybuilding photos, and they're incredible. So for our listeners, obviously we'll
Why didn't he
include
take
links
his shirt
to
off?
not just the Bowflex infomercial, but also to Tom's website. And really, let's focus on the embarrassing stuff tab because
You guys, you want to look like Tom Purvis?
he's got a bod that just won't quit. So I don't know why he didn't really go for it in the show. Tom's killing it. He owns his own mini mall.
Cool stuff, slick stuff,
Like
neat stuff.
formal stuff. It's crazy. It's nuts. I'm so happy for him. So even if he doesn't win the Call Now podcast for having the majority rule for Team Randy, Team Tom, he wins the internet. He's 100 years before his time, okay? Carlos Ortega, MD from Venezuela, said that, and Tom put that on his website. So he's from the future. Take that, Randy.
You know where I lose Tom a little bit more now looking at this? He looked great before the Bowflex was invented. He's not using this product. It's clear.
It hurts his credibility.
It hurts his credibility. He doesn't look like how he used to look.
I look okay.
And that's maybe because the advent of the Bowflex can't get you there. So I think it's a black eye in the story of the Bowflex.
If you want to read the tea leaves, I'm guessing he suffered a serious injury due to the momentum of free weights.
Because I did not want to hurt myself, which I had done using free weights before.
He was no longer able to keep the bulk on. So he's like, fuck this.
Bad car wreck.
I want resistance. And that's why when he pivoted.
Yeah, I like that.
And you know what?
Well, fine,
He's
Dave. Fine then, okay?
Fine. That's it. I quit.
Hold on to your power rod.
It's no secret that infomercials love to claim that the products they're pitching are award-winning. But let's not forget that they wouldn't have any of those fake awards without the hard work of the real stars of these infomercials. And that's why each week we hand out the Ronnies, our acknowledgement of the greatest moments and performances in these informative and supposedly objective works of art. Named in honor of the godfather and patron saint of TV pitchmen, Ron Popeil. So our first Ronnie, best value proposition. So what component of this infomercial is really hammering home those big RTBs, those reasons to buy? The nominees are, you don't have to go to the gym.
And you do not, I repeat, you do not have to go to the gym to get this kind of result.
Because if I had to go to the gym, I would never go to the gym because I don't gym to go to it. You're welcome. Safety. Dave, you talked about momentum before. Free weights will kill you and your family if you let them.
Well, it's momentum.
And that's what momentum will do.
You could never really reach that failure point because you would have no one there to lift the weight off you when you dropped it on yourself.
You can't do that with free weights because of momentum. Momentum is what makes free weights dangerous. You know, that is a huge point. Yeah. Because momentum is one of the things that actually causes injury when you're using free weights. Now, you can eliminate it by going slow, but who does that?
Yeah.
Momentum. Yeah.
It's momentum. So beware momentum. I think maybe we should nominate momentum awareness. I don't know. Next nominee is you can't do this with any other machine.
Seated rows, that's something you can't really do at home before. I don't know how I could do this at home with any other machine.
And there is no way, absolutely no way, to duplicate this hamstring exercise with anything in the gym or anything you've ever had at home before.
Because you can't. And I also like that one of our testimonials said that you can make up your own exercises if you want to change. And I was like, well, then you're not doing an exercise. You're just playing around with strings.
Create your own exercises.
Also, that's a bad idea, but keep going.
Yeah. You're going to either hurt yourself or you're just not working out, because that's why certain exercises exist. You'll get resistance, which is probably why you're spending $1,000 or $34 a month on your Bowflex credit card to get this brought to your house. You need that resistance.
It's like I'm working a muscle against a muscle.
Second to last one, 6 weeks or your money back.
We guarantee the results in 6 weeks or your money
If you take the Bowflex challenge, you got 6 weeks. And the last one is there's always something for the ladies.
Like if a woman wants to work out.
Well, I was going to go with you get resistance, and then I found out there's no patent on it. And
Our patented power rod.
Total horse shit. No, mine's always going to be it's something for the ladies. I think there's something very good marketing wise about that, because men and guys who buy this thing are kind of weird that way.
Wait till my husband finds out I'm going to buy this machine.
Like subconsciously, they're like, oh, actually, that's why I'm doing this. So, and I know that's a reality. But yeah, something for the ladies always gets me, man.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. My logical brain wants to lean into you can't do this with any other machine.
We'll give it a tap like that.
You can't.
Because I was like, you can't. You definitely can't, because it looks like a medieval torture device.
If you want to see what 13 inches looks like.
So you can't get a workout on medieval torture devices usually. But the actual best value proposition is, yeah, probably like Mark said, doing it for the ladies.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean,
I think I have one more late breaking edition that I would like a writing candidate for best value prop.
This is just coming in now?
Yeah, this just got passed across my desk. Thank you very much. There's also a nomination for just 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
It takes just 20 minutes 3 times a week. In just 20 to 30 minutes, 3 times a week. The whole thing in 20 or 30 minutes. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
20 minutes a day, 3 days a week.
So 60 minutes a week, and you'll have the physique of a bodybuilder.
Well, okay, to be fair, this is where it gets muddled between this is a good additional thing to get your crazy muscles working versus this is your workout for the week. So Randy says it because he's like, I do this 20 minutes, and he doesn't say this is the only thing that I do.
That's all I do.
But he says that I do these workouts for 20 minutes a day, and he's doing interval training, and it works great.
That's all I do.
The whole workout.
The whole workout.
But they're skittish on whether it's do this for 20 minutes and you're going to be ripped.
That's all I do.
Versus P90X.
Corn chowder, not dairy, I hope.
Their enemy, which is like if you do you know what I'm saying here? So the 20 minutes is BS. I don't buy it.
That's all I do.
Ooh, all right. So that's why it's a writing. That's why I didn't get the respect to make the big board. I can see why now. Why there was such a long shot. Mark, I feel like you also have some hard opinions about those claims.
I do, and you know why? Because they're selling a machine. They're selling all the workouts you can do in it.
64 different exercises.
I'll get that. They shouldn't be selling how long you should do it. Like Dave says, Randy is a buff boy. He's a VP of marketing, buff guy.
He's a big old meat castle.
He's a meat. Yeah, he's a meat. I love meat castle. I love Meathouse too. They shouldn't be telling you. They don't know who you are, and I know they fill in the testimonials with everyday people.
People just like you.
Randy does not need to even do this for 10 minutes a day. He doesn't even do this for 5. I need to do this for like 30 minutes a day for a couple years. But yeah, I don't like how they force their the time you need to spend on the machine per week. It's garbage.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dan?
I gotta give it to the ladies. This one's for the ladies. It's the thing that is, in a way, at least similar to all the other things too. Everything else is kind of like, we know who our market is. Here you go, guys. And this is like, someone walked a note upstairs at the end, was like, there is half the population that is not going to watch this or even consider buying it. Can we get 3 women to try it and say that they use it? And they're like, fine. I feel like they grumpily put it in there. All right, fine. Well, I mean, all the hot guys, like you and all the hot guys will still be in it, Randy. We just have to have Desiree and Jocelyn and unnamed woman 3 to make sure that we fine. Me and my beef boys are gonna work out. Okay, Randy, bye. So
Like if a woman wants to work out her thighs,
17 pounds per woman.
Then I would imagine it's a lot of goals for women out there as well that just want to lose some fat.
Or a woman.
It's not just for him, but for her too. She's quickly toning problem areas for women like triceps, chest, inner thighs, abs, and backside with weight resistance as low as 5 to 10 pounds.
best reaction. First one that I am infatuated with takes place in the demo with the serious weightlifters.
Of course it does. It's the best part.
That should just be a Netflix show.
The Expendables.
The Unliftables. And they're through the demo finally, and everyone is really sold on the Bowflex. And Eli pipes up that he would like a Bowflex. And he gets shut down hard by Randy with a very energetic, this one's mine, you can't have it. And it's really cute. And I thought they were going to kiss. But it's his Bowflex, you can't have it.
This one's mine, you can't have it.
In the same scene, when young Eli is coming off the bench, and normally Tom wouldn't just bring someone in and just start using the machine, but he looks like he's pretty warmed up. So he has him hop on the bench, can't get it to move, and Tom drops the hammer with a, "What's wrong, Eli?"
What's wrong, Eli?
Beautiful.
He is nice about it up until then. Like,
Yeah.
Tom's not a dick. He's just kind of like, let's see how you do. And he's cool about it. Like, it's very bro-y. It's very like, oh, give it a shot, bro. Like, if you drop it, like, if you drop it, bro, it's all right, bro.
In the opening workout scene with Randy and Tom on their third date, and they're finishing up, and Randy just gives Tom a quick, I'm going to do a few more of these real quick.
I'm going to do a couple more real quick.
He's got to get that pump, man.
Love that.
When Tom makes sure that he lets his serious weightlifters know momentum is what makes free weights dangerous sometimes.
Momentum is what makes free weights dangerous sometimes.
Dave, I think I know where you're leaning on this, but who's your leader in the clubhouse?
This is definitely the toughest category, but I feel like I have to talk about, I'm going to do a few more of these real quick.
Do a couple more real
Because it really, I'm talking about infomercials as a whole here, because there is clearly scripted content in there that is so necessary. And then, you know, these guys can't hit every script thing, nor should they. Like in a sales pitch scenario, he's clearly just kind of like getting in the rhythm and like half being the character of Randy and half working out when he goes, oh, I'm going to do a few more of these real quick.
You could have cut that.
There's a long space of 2 seconds where we just watch him do a few more of those real quick. It's real weird. It's real weird. So, yeah, I guess I have to stick with that one as my favorite.
I want to look like that guy.
But, I mean, this one's mine. You can't have it.
This one's mine.
It will be tough to take that one down.
The first time I rewatched this after we decided this is where we were headed, that was the first time I hit pause and had to go back, and I was like,
Did somebody
oh,
say
this is it.
muffins?
This is their nachos, my favorites.
Nachos, those are my favorite.
It really caught my heart and soul. The other ones are also showstoppers, but that was the first one that stopped me in my tracks. So that's where my loyalties lie.
It's also so great because, like, they start to fuse in that weird bro scene, and like they're all having a good time, and he's like, wait, this one's mine, you can't have it.
This one's mine.
The other thing, the last thing that I love about that scene and everything that takes place in the serious weightlifting demos is you hear those stupid goddamn power rods banging off each other the whole time when they're talking. So everything has a blah, 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 blah in the background while they're talking to each other. It's fantastic.
What is a Bowflex? What does Bowflex do?
Not to mention, you see how kind of flimsy they are hitting each other back there. When in the demo, it's just one person. It's very meticulous not to show how kind of thrown together this machine is. But I'm going to stay in that same segment. And I think similar to where Dave was going, I'm going to do a few more of these real quick, Randy. That was a break of the character on the screen, and that was the person Randy. And I actually think What's Wrong Eli from Tom was like a bit of realistic bullying in the gym that he was given to him, and I really appreciate it because Eli just asked for it and he got it,
and he knows it too, which is so great. Like he's like, oh man, yeah, that's a crazy machine, you know.
Well, not to mention he goes to the edge of the bench when he's done and he puts his hands in his face, or his face in his hands.
So first you reduce my ego and then you build
And
up
it's
my
like
body?
it's like, was that natural or did he really just get schooled by Tom?
Yeah. Well, we're just illuminating how perfect that 6-minute segment is. That should be the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's my Mick brain kicking in.
Outstanding.
So I think we split the jury. I think we're gonna have to give out 3 best reactions. Randy gets 2 of them. Tom gets another one. And congratulations to everybody. Everyone looks really great. And
fair.
It's hard to not just react like you're the best looking boy with no shirt on.
This one's mine. You can't have it. What's wrong, Eli? I'm gonna do a couple more real quick.
Best testimonial.
People just
So,
like
as you mentioned before, Dave, this infomercial is particularly rife with testimonials. That is a trend in health and fitness infomercials overall, because the whole thing is not so much where it's a broad-based problem where if you see a kitchen, you know that it's a kitchen, a house, it's a house. This is a thing that a lot of people can easily relate to. Because it's self-improvement and you are changing your physical self and your body, it is very important to have real people just like you tell you their stories. I'll just run down the nominees and give you just a little bit of their background on who they are, what they are, and we'll try to figure out who is really the best testimonial of the Bowflex. So our first, in order of appearance, Mark Perry, car crash survivor.
I was in a really bad car wreck.
Realized that he couldn't go to the gym anymore.
That was no longer
And so he got a Bowflex, and he lost 12% body fat. Good for him.
It's done.
Dr. Ellington Dalton, who feels like a character, like a side character in a Coen Brothers movie, who would walk into a store or something and not pay for what he picked up, but say something cute and walk out. I loved him.
17 pounds per woman.
Joan Andrews, who just doesn't have time to work out except on her Bowflex. Steve Schmidt, who doesn't like his wife or child but loves working out, so he got a Bowflex.
I bought the machine due to the time constraints I had with the new baby at home.
Craig Aberthal, the elder statesman of our testimonials, who injured himself using free weights, Dave. Can you believe that? He injured himself so badly on free weights that he had to switch to the Bowflex.
Because I did not want to hurt myself.
Like, it sounded like he was the first owner of a Bowflex from the timeline that he gave of when he had one.
I bought my first Bowflex in July of 1994.
Abe Mills, who has the most airtime of any of our testimonials.
I have a universal gym at home.
Who we also never see below his chin.
I want to look like that guy.
Who is a little bit self-effacing. He's like, I look okay.
I look okay.
I'm all right.
It's not like I look bad.
But then also tells us how shredded he is without ever showing us.
I'm pretty excited about it.
Leonard Allen, who has a real short clip late in the infomercial, shows off his outdoor setup of his Bowflex, where he does some great chest exercise and is very, very confident to let you know that there is resistance.
Just looking at the machine, it doesn't look like it can give that kind of resistance.
And Barry Ozer.
Remember Barry Ozer?
He lost so much weight that his mom and his fraternity brothers didn't recognize him.
My mom didn't recognize me.
He hated looking in the mirror and seeing what he saw every day until he got the Bowflex.
If you want to see what 13 inches looks like.
He tried jogging, he tried dieting, and it didn't work. The Bowflex worked. Barry Ozer.
Remember Barry Ozer?
That's everybody. So you can't include Tom, you can't include Randy. That they have vested interests. These are real people just like you and me.
People just like you.
Even though Dr. Ellington Darden is a paid contributor and works for Nautilus, he is a real doctor, and it was used as a testimonial, so he counts. Mark, bring us in. Who really makes you want to jump in and buy a Bowflex? Who's your contributor?
So I'm not speaking of myself here, okay? I'm speaking of more the consumer at the time and maybe still now. So this whole thing was very sexy.
It feels so good.
And the guys and the gals are very sexy. And I actually think that, is it Jolyn? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joan Andrews.
And Joan Andrews and Steve Schmidt were placed next to each other in the testimonial thing because I think they were most likely to get it on.
Whoa.
And those, it seemed like the most realistic two storylines that would come together. And I just felt like the editing back and forth just made it be like, you might be able to have a little bit of sex if you get one of these Bowflexes. And
Whoa. You might.
That's
so
what I
are
got.
you saying think that Jolene is the wife that Steve was avoiding in his garage when he was lifting weights? Or are you saying that she's the other gal because she has a Bowflex?
Oh, the potential.
I mean, it feels so good.
The potential, yeah.
Because she works at a loud, stimulating job all day, so she's going to be tired at the end of the day, especially after 20 minutes of a workout. So you have those other 4 days a week, I guess, to shoot your shot. Yeah.
Hold on to your power rods.
I like it.
Yeah.
So,
They were good though. I do not really, besides the weird guy, Abe Mills.
This guy told me about the Bowflex.
Right, with just the headshot. Jolene and Steve. So I was watching that with my production eye, and I was like, straight up actors? I think so, but they're giving a damn fine little testimonial here. It was early in the infomercial, so I was a little drawn into them. So wherever Mark is going with this, I support it.
They also are used multiple times too, so they show up early on. They're the first ones that we see, and then Schmitty comes back later after the third trip inside the weightlifting room. They come out with him and his buddy Leonard Allen, leading into an aerobic lat row in no time, which is just delicious.
That is awesome.
And when we get back to Jolene, it's when we start to talk about the ladies.
Does that sound great?
And Jolene tees up some of the key things that Tom brings home.
This is what every guy wants.
We're talking about what ladies want to do. Speaking of guys who need Netflix shows, I want to watch the Barry Ozer stuff.
Remember Barry Ozer?
That guy. I feel like the way that Tom led into it with Remember Barry Ozer.
Remember Barry Ozer?
No, I don't.
Yeah. No, I felt it was forced.
Really?
I've been heavy all my life.
Yeah, I thought Ozer.
Of course.
Yeah, but like it was too blatant. Like it was too
My mom
it was
didn't
two of them
recognize
trying
me.
to cover their tracks, which is like it wasn't so blatant until then. And it's pretty close to the end, right? It's like around minute 24 when Barry shows up and you're like, okay, like so it can do everything. I got it. I'm bored now. The pacing was bad. The pacing was bad, guys, and that's why I go with Dr. Ellington Darden. Because he's ridiculous.
He's still with us too. He's 74.
Fantastic. He's pumped.
He's another one. I think he's probably closet uked too. It seemed like, with that denim shirt loosely buttoned.
Oh yeah.
I was getting ideas.
I loved his interview because you could tell it was like, hey, we got to get Doc Ellington in here, and they're like, oh man, like he's kind of an intense guy, and he's like, I'll give you a half an hour.
It gives you the same kind of results as you get from Nautilus equipment.
Like camera gets set up, and he's like, what do you got? And then he gives you a half an hour of just man muscle, and you're like, okay, that's fine, Doc. We'll put that in the infomercial, and they did.
Dave, from a production standpoint, I found like his background was different than everyone else's testimonial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
it was almost like I'm not looking at it now. I'm almost thinking like the camera's a different angle, like a completely different angle, looking over a different shoulder.
Yeah, I have answers for this. Do you have more questions?
All of them.
Yes. Why weren't all the testimonials like
I look okay,
equally the same length, and why weren't they mixed in a little better? Why would it be so random that you just include one person for like 30 seconds?
I have a universal gym at home.
That I can't answer, but Dr. Ellington I can, because he's a Nautilus guy. So clearly they're like, we got our own team. We can do this. What do you want? And they bring their own team in that has to probably talk to this guy once a month, and he hates it all the time. And he probably also hates it because it's about the Bowflex, which he's not quite invested in.
Look at that muscle work.
That's where the magic happens.
So do you want to know what the difference is for his testimonial as compared to everyone else's?
Visually?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
His does not contain a Bowflex in the shot.
I want to look like
He's
that
in
guy.
an office in a floral print chair with leather-bound books in the distance behind him because he's an esteemed doctor, okay? He didn't go online and print out a piece of paper that says DR period on it and put his name on there and say he's a doctor to not sit in that office and not get his hair done before he does his testimonial. He's a man. He's 40.
I'm a man. I'm
he killed it. So I think that's the respect factor.
That's Tom Purvis paying his respects
I'm Tom
in the
Purvis.
world of Bowflex, is putting Dr. Ellington Darden in there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the intern that had to mic him up?
That poor PA.
Put the mic up through his shirt.
His chest is
Man.
going
Think
crazy.
I can mic myself? No, it's just we had to make sure that it goes. We was trying to hide things better than you. I'm doctor. See that? Look at the wall, kid. It's like, huh? Okay, thank you, Dr. Darden. Thank yourself. It's like, what? That's...
Since we're having a good time here.
But seriously, we're having a lot of fun here.
We once mic'd a doctor.
They call me the doctor.
From a large Boston hospital who was not into it, probably like Dr. Ellington. And we were like, hey, could you take, he had a jacket on, right? Like a suit jacket. And he goes, we're like, could you take the jacket off? Could we just do the shirt? Because we're getting a rustle. And he just goes like this. It's like 6 a.m. It was horrible. And he goes, guys, listen to me. The jacket doesn't matter. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? The jacket doesn't matter. And we all just went, we're like, of course it doesn't. Let's just go. Let's just shoot it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Guys, the jacket doesn't matter.
The jacket matters. Excuse me, doctor, would you like to take off your pants and jacket? No, we're having fun. No, but seriously, the jacket's making some noise, so if you could just... Oh, okay. All right. Okay. No, we're having fun. So, sounds like the good doctor. The good doctor?
I am the doctor.
Your guy? Like he needs another certificate, but congratulations to Dr. Darden.
Outstanding.
It gives you the same kind of results as you get from Nautilus equipment that you see in your fitness center. So with a Bowflex machine, you can get that kind of results in the privacy of your home. Combining Bowflex with a reduced calorie diet, that you can lose an incredible amount of fat in a 6-week period of time. We had the average fat loss was 17 pounds per woman in a 6-week period of time. Men got even better results, 27 pounds in 6 weeks.
It's time for, and this is a category that is unique to the Bowflex.
Our patented power rod.
It's time for the best Tomgasm.
Dump it in.
Talked about it a little bit earlier on where our boy Tom Purvis gets a little bit excited when he starts seeing his friends and coworkers work out a bit. Sometimes he might go a little bit overboard. So our nominees are...
That is awesome.
You have no momentum on the Bowflex.
You can't do that with free weights because of momentum. Momentum.
Who doesn't want to look like Randy?
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
His muscles are going crazy right now.
His chest is going crazy.
Look at that muscle working.
Look at that muscle working.
This is what every guy wants to look like.
This is what every guy wants to look like.
I want to look like that guy.
Tom's fired up. He's not a low energy guy. He's bringing the heat. Who doesn't want to look like Randy is my favorite thing that anyone's ever said.
That is awesome.
The fact that Tom says it makes it even better. So for me, it's going to be really hard.
It's not that hard
to beat. Who doesn't want to look like Randy?
Yeah, and it's so early.
Yeah, it's like their lead off. That's where they start.
Yeah. The bit, okay, so that bit with just the two of them has not gotten enough praise because that one's good too. Like the bit at the beginning, the little 5-minute intro where they're just, it's just.
I'm going to do a couple more real quick.
Perfectly awkward. That bit is great. And that's like, he comes right out with it. Like, this is Randy, VP of Marketing. Who doesn't want to look like Randy?
You guys?
It's like, oh, I'm in, Tom. We got to see. We got 30 more minutes of this.
Have either of you guys ever worked out without a shirt on?
No.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
No.
Okay. Interesting. I was made to feel that that's what real men do when I watch this. Because I want to look like Randy.
You want to look like Randy?
And I was wondering if like maybe that's what's holding me back.
Today's scene, I think, would be a good opportunity for me to take my shirt off.
It's because I wear a shirt like when I jog and stuff. So I'm thinking about just letting the girls fly tomorrow morning maybe and see if I start looking like Randy. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe it's not the Bowflex. Maybe it's just the confidence.
30-pound rod.
But you are touching on something here. Is does he have to be shirtless? I guess so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, especially if you're trying to see those muscles going crazy.
His chest is going crazy.
You're not going to see it when he's got a shirt on.
Can you see that working?
Yeah.
Can you see that working?
True.
So I'm with you guys on this. I think it's the strongest segment.
My strength more than double.
It is goofy, but it's the strongest segment, not only because they're showing how easy the different workouts are
64 exercises
in order, and he's doing it, but he just there's some like sexual harassment thing there. If you're pointing at a shirtless guy who's laying down on his back and saying things like "who doesn't look like Randy" at all, just kind of adds into
you guys,
this.
You want to look like Randy?
This weird sexuality vibe that this infomercial gives off to me. So
Half load.
and Randy looks good.
It's a half load right in there.
And Randy has some good ones too, but Tom was just bringing so much heat that he deserves his own category. Some honorable mentions from Randy is, I can really feel that burning. Yeah, that feels great.
Oh, wow, I can really feel this burning now. That feels great.
I like that one.
Say it like that too.
Yeah.
And I think everything else, I think we talked about a few of the other ones when he's really selling the Bowflex too. Randy has a few great ones. We're talking about the patented power rods.
These are composite power rods. They're patented.
And that superset that he does in that beginning, he goes bench press to chest fly, triceps, abs, shoulders, cedar rows, bicep curls, gets to some leg work, including some leg press and a hamstring curl.
That's all I do.
So he does all of that in under 3 minutes of infomercial time, and he's pouring sweat.
Stinky, nasty.
I wonder how long they were actually kept in there for him to get his full pump.
What can you do in 10 seconds?
I guarantee that was something that he said, like you said, Dave, where he's like, I'm just gonna do a few more. It's like,
I'm gonna do a couple more real quick.
He has to do his full workout. It's the only way we could get him for an hour. He says he's working out for the full hour.
Yeah.
The whole workout.
Weird.
Good point.
And then he closes it out with, that's all I do.
That's all I do.
I don't believe that. I think you also do anabolic steroids. I think you might do HGH. I think you do a lot of stuff you're not proud of.
He does mention that it is an interval training thing where like you do take like only a 10-second break.
What's the idea behind circuit training?
That's the only time where that is briefly mentioned, and the only time where me as someone who exercises is like, oh, okay, I
have a universal gym at home.
I understand this kind of exercise. I understand that.
Yeah.
And like you can tell he's a workout junkie who is clearly like,
how can you tell?
Yeah.
Trainer to the trainer.
Who's clearly like, no, let me tell you something, boys who actually work out. This is the kind of thing that I do.
I think who doesn't want to look like Randy, because that's our table setter. That's everything we've ever wanted in the world. So Tom, great job.
Wait, one more thing. Tom does feel like he has like level 10 Tom, which is just like up.
Look at that
And he's
muscle
just
work.
trying so hard to stay away from that 13 Tom, which is just like, his muscles are going crazy right now. Like some.
They're working right now?
Yeah.
Like I can't believe he didn't touch him while he's working out.
That all got cut out.
Not a
Yeah.
touch.
Just
a
those
Tom
deep
get.
breaths. Those longing sighs. Congratulations, Tom. We're proud of you.
What's wrong, Eli? Listen up. Look at that muscle working. Remember Barry Ozer? His chest is going crazy. Look at that. You guys, you want to look like Randy? Can you see that working?
It's that time of the show where we discuss the award, the Ronnie, for Best Bod.
Let me see that.
So our leader in the clubhouse, again, from a betting odds standpoint, has to be the most shirtless man that we see.
Guys, you want to look like Randy?
Also a nominee, Eli.
What's wrong, Eli?
After his humbling experience on the bench, I thought that he deserved a nod. Next nominee is Rod. Rod is the mustachio gentleman who does abs.
Is anybody interested in
who
abs?
is very supportive of the whole thing, start to finish. He seems he's a little bit too bought in. He's the one who thought he might be able to start getting some side work on sitcoms from this, maybe. He looks like an uncle, so maybe he did. Who knows? Rod is nominated. Congratulations. Tom Purvis is a nominee here.
Whoa.
This is my special exemption pick to have Tom in for Best Bod because of my suspicions, which were then confirmed by his 1985 bodybuilding championship in Oklahoma.
I'm Tom
He
Purvis.
deserves to be on the list. The unnamed shirtless workout man during the Call Now segment, who is the definition of a beefcake, gets a nominee. And our last nominee is Desiree,
Or a woman.
who is the only woman who is named during the group workout session.
Desiree, come try this.
Who is patronized a little bit.
Go ahead and stand right here.
But handles it well. I think Tom got his hand real close to her backside.
It works really well. I can't believe it.
So for legality purposes, she had to be included here as well to make sure that no one was harmed during the filming or the production of this infomercial. Can anyone unseat Randy? Does anyone have a chance at going at the crown that Randy wins?
What do you think, folks?
30-pound rod.
Yeah, we're talking best body. We're not talking who can lift the most, who is maybe the biggest. But I gotta say, Eli has the best body. It's
my body.
He's a little leaner, but I just think he's very sleek. Unlike the Bowflex is not a sleek machine. I think Randy does give this edit of this commercial and music and the way that they produced it. He is the quintessential Bowflex infomercial bod.
It's not that hard.
Randy looks like a Bowflex as a person. You're saying that because Eli looks like he's a tenacious competitor.
He is.
Based on not backing down to Tom Riley.
Yeah, and just jumping right in there.
Well, in fairness, like Tom said, he had warmed up. He'd been working on the bench. So even though he was cheating, using momentum like a child, he was ready to go. So Eli, good for you. Congratulations. So we have
Eli looks good. I don't think he takes it from Randy.
This one's mine.
Desiree looks great, but not better than Randy. Unnamed Shirtless Man, I don't think we can give it to him. And Unnamed Shirtless Man also has the benefit of solo talent, production note here, solo talent and dramatic lighting. Randy or Eli with dramatic lighting, one person on set, like photography style, I mean, they could look just as good as Unnamed Shirtless Workout Man. So I think we have to, I got to say no to him. Tom Purvis could be in the running if Tom Purvis ditched the shirt, like I said before. But Tom Purvis would not ditch the shirt. He's out.
Oh, gosh.
So I think it's between Eli and Randy because Rod's a nothing.
This guy
Well,
told me about the Bowflex.
actually, Rod's great. Rod's great, and he had a mustache. He had a mustache when it was not fashionable to have a mustache. So, no. Respect to Rod, but it's Eli and Randy, I guess.
Nice.
Wow.
Sorry, one more thing about Rod. He looks like he's probably coming in the 9th inning for the 1995 Atlanta Braves. You know, like an LCS or something.
Yeah.
He's got big Woolers energy.
Yeah.
Bottom of 9. Mark Waller's
Yeah,
came
he
on.
does.
Well, that's a win in and of itself. If the jury's split, I would love to go with Tom, but you're right. The preponderance of evidence only in the infomercials, what you have to grade by. So the nomination reached outside that. The infomercial tells us it's got to be Randy, the star of the show, the bod of all bods, the VP of marketing. So congratulations to Randy.
I'm just going to do a few more of these real quick.
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
It feels so good. First thing I like to do in my workout, hold on to your power rods. Oh, wow, I can really feel this burning now. That feels great. I'm going to do a couple more real quick. I want to look like that guy.
This has been another edition of the Ronnies. Congrats to all of our winners. Maybe the next time our losers will do better. Let's think about the Bowflex and its owners. Can or would we be them? I know obviously in 2001 at about 15, brag, we were not able to commandeer or acquire a Bowflex credit card and acquire one ourselves.
We don't
But
have this
we
money.
can play the time machine game and either transport this infomercial into current times or our current selves into 2001, whichever shoe fits better. Would you pull the trigger and buy a Bowflex for the low price of $9.99 plus shipping and handling, which was $250? But it does also include the hamstring extension component. You get Dr. Elliot Darden's book. You get the instructional video cassette with Tom and Randy. So if you can't get enough of Tom and Randy's love affair, enjoy. That all being said, if you could, would you, David?
No.
I look okay.
Because I'm looking at eBay right now and it costs $550 for a Bowflex.
It's like a car. It holds value. It was only $1,000 in 2001.
I like different workouts.
64 different exercises.
I would love to try one. There's no way in hell I'd ever
Would you
buy
join
one.
a gym if they said, we have Bowflex classes?
And with our competitively priced on-site cosmetic surgery,
Like they feature Pilates and group fitness and swim. If they also were like, hey, Thursdays, 7 p.m., we turn out the lights and it's Bowflex time. Tom and Randy After Dark, we're putting it on the screen.
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
No shirts, no shoes, no problem. We're getting big. You
Oh,
in?
yes. I'll join that gym.
And
Yeah.
you can work out on a Bowflex
Yeah.
here that we own
Yes.
We will play the Tom and Randy video on a large screen behind one of our trainers who will actually be leading you through the exercises.
You guys, you want to look like Randy?
And giving you tips and tricks.
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, and
Mark, same slate of questions.
Wait, there's gonna be a big room with just Bowflexes in rows and clinking and clanking as.
What is a Bowflex? What does Bowflex do?
People are doing the worst bench press I've ever seen.
First thing I like to do in my workout is a bench press.
Yeah,
No,
not doing it.
Not doing
it's the infomercial they should have made.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not buying this product. I like to buy things out of irony, and I've talked about Magic Bullet before.
We've come to know it as the Magic Bullet.
That I bought one out of irony.
Yes.
This one, the price point is ridiculous, $1,000, and it looks like crap. I don't know how to store this thing in your house.
It folds up.
I really don't.
Only 2 feet.
Dan,
you put it in a closet or something.
Don't you see how portable it is? I mean, sitting like this, it's only like 2 feet it takes up in your house. You can put in a closet.
No, you're not putting that in a closet. That's not going in a closet. It's going in the basement or the attic, and it's gonna be a bitch to get it down. It's gonna sit in a room, and it's gonna look like a piece of shit. So no, I'm not buying it. Sorry, guys. Love the infomercial. Sales through the roof because good sales techniques, but bad product. Jesus.
What is a product that if Tom and Randy collaborated on the pitch and were selling that you would buy based on what you've seen from their love and chemistry and their passion that oozes out of their pores throughout this infomercial?
Oh my gosh, look at this. It's a half load right in there.
Bet you like a sports drink.
Now I'm done.
If they came out with like a nice sports drink, there would be some trust in them doing that. So I think
everybody gets exactly the drink they want, made just the way they like.
yes, some sort of edible, some sports drink, something like that. I can get down with.
I like that.
I like that.
Dave, do you have any product recommendations?
No, I'm trying to come up with something funny, but you can't come up with anything funnier than that spider of a piece of equipment that they work on. I can't. I agree with the sports drink though.
Guys, any other final thoughts before we go, or did we finish our circuit? Are we done? Did we do it?
We're good. My muscles are going crazy right now.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, or follow on your preferred podcast medium. And for all things Call Now, visit callnowpodcast.com. And if you want to connect with the boys, you can find them at Call Now Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or send them an email at callnowpodcast@gmail.com. And if you can't fight the urge to pick up the phone and call now, you can leave them a voice message at 617-356-7439. And if you call in the next 30 minutes, you might just be the next star of Call Now. Thanks again for listening, and we hope you tune in next time to Call Now.
Thank you for listening. This has been a B+ effort. We'll try harder next time.